need some brand new roots on this family tree. Cause all I see
It's a bunch of broken branches and leaves.
they plant a new seed.
Throw some water on it and leave.
And when it sprouts,
Well,
the cycle just repeats. They say the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, but it keeps on rolling to get away from the misery. I think my father was a leaf,
Wow.
cause all he did was leave. As the wind blow, he would go on his way away from me. But some say that my pops was a rolling stone.
Word.
I'm just a chip off the old rock. The block became my home. So tell Mr. Lonely that I'm my only homie. Me, myself, and I, only one of us can hold me. My mother, not to mention, always bickering and tripping. She reminds me of a branch. She snapped, no questions asked. But follow me, travel, dig deep beneath the gravel where the soil is loose. And you can see my family tree needs brand new roots.
we need some brand new roots on this family tree.
Cause all I see
It's a bunch of broken branches and leaves.
they plant a new seed.
Throw some water on it and leave.
And when it sprouts, the cycle just repeats.
Rest in peace to my brother, who is still alive. I mean, he's here, but the brother I remember died. I hold back tears, but it's obvious I wanna cry. I lash out because of the pain I feel inside. I clench my fist, cause his head I wanna go upside and knock some sense into it. Maybe that'll change his mind. But all it does is drive us further apart, and I can see our brotherly bond dissolving like salt. But it's not our fault, just trace the bloodline of our family and you'll see my uncles fighting each other like the enemies. Wanna go deeper? Climb onto the branches of my family tree. Grandpa really didn't get along with all his siblings. So in a way, I guess it's like our destiny to be at each other's throats until somebody's breath released. So now, when the coming of the reaper, I guess the question is, am I my brother's keeper?
Even though we grown, we fight just like kids.
But when it comes down to it,
My brother's my best friend, and I ain't even tripping. Look, homie, that's how it is. And if you ever trip,
I pick him up like we was kids.
Craig, Gary, Derek, and my brother little Edrin. With mind, body, and soul, I'ma be there to protect them. Though they stand as a man, I do what I can to perfect them. And stick my foot up they butt, because sometimes I gotta check them. But before me, God, may you bless him. I kiss him on his cheek, just some brotherly affection. I tuck him in his sheets and pray that he dreams sweet, cause that's the way that Granny Griff had raised me. When I was in his position, he was doing the same. When I was in his position, he was doing the same. I love my partners, but the fact still remains it's family before friends. At the end of the day, we ain't got the same dad, but we share the same mother. We have the same past and they help us move further. A lot comes close, but nothing really closer. Love don't explain how much I care for my
And
brothers.
even though we're grown, we fight just like kids.
But when it comes down to it,
My brother's my best friend.
and I ain't even tripping. Look, homie, that's how it is. And if he ever tripped,
I pick him up like we was kids.
yeah.
But we still need some brand new roots on this family tree.
Cause all I see,
It's a bunch of broken branches and leaves.
they plant a new seed.
Throw some water on it and leave.
And when it sprouts,
Well,
the cycle just repeats.
Just repeat. You know, I know how hard it is to like ignore when somebody is calling you a punk to your face, or a sucker, or whatever, or saying you ugly to your face. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it sounds nice and it's real cliche to say sticks and stones may break your bones, but words they hurt. That the words hurt. Words are powerful. All right, but real talk, with the burn pages, with the haters, they have no fuel. They can't drive without fuel. So if y'all, everybody in here, if y'all stop feeding them, stop laughing, you know what I'm saying? Stop, like when they're telling you something, stop caring about it, it'll die.
Can somebody describe the burn book one more time? What is the burn book?
Right here.
Right here, bro.
Black sweater with the
The burn book is like, it's like a little notebook, and at the top of it, like they'll write somebody's name and flip the page, write somebody else's name, flip the page, and like they'll pass it on. And like when you see your person's name, like if you like him or you like something about him, like you write it down, but you don't say a name, or you write down your little nickname, and like you pass it on to the next person, and the next person looks through it and like writes something about it and passes on to the next
Are
person.
these burn books online? Anybody got a burn book
Yeah,
online?
it started on Facebook.
It's on Facebook.
But they don't use a profile picture. They'll use like someone else's profile picture.
Like Kaisha. She was on the first page. Let's not say their names.
That's crazy. You know what's weird though? The next thing I wanted to talk about were haters. And so who in this room has haters?
I got more shocking me. Some dude was talking about me for real. He was talking about I don't come to school dressed up and everything. And I'm like, bruh, you just not like me for real.
back to what Kun was talking about earlier. You shouldn't focus on what someone else has to say about you, because at the end of the day, you know that you come to school fly. I mean, I'm looking at you today. You come to school all dressed up and however you need to be. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter about what a hater or someone has to say about you negatively. It's about how you feel about yourself. So when you come to school, do you feel good about what you have on and what you're presenting?
Always.
And that's all that matters.
Like, I got a friend that, you know, if he could have just let it go, he'd still be alive, man. You gotta just, like, if somebody comes at you negatively, if you answer back to them, because I've seen people on Facebook, like, oh, this girl said this about me, so I gotta go back on her. You actually empower them. You give them all your power and they have control over you. So if you just ignore it, then they don't have any power in you. That happens to me all the time. Like, there's a lot of people out here that are angry that I'm successful at what I do. I don't have a day job. This is all that I do.
Nice.
Is just perform. I travel the country and I perform. This is all I do, right? So then, and there's dudes, and I've only been doing this 5 years. There's dudes in this city that's been doing this for 10 years, and they still do open mics. They haven't stepped foot in the comedy club. You know what I'm saying? And so they were like, oh, Patrick, you know, how's he getting on? How's he doing this? And they take shots at me. I see them all the time. I don't even answer back, because if I do that, then it'll give them power over me.
Technology is out there, so I think the parents have to play a role in making sure their kids aren't doing this. So, you know, I expect young folks not to always act appropriately. It's not right that you do these things if you're one of the people that do them. But obviously the school, this company, whoever lets kids post those things, have the responsibility to stop it and manage it. So.
What do you think about what you're hearing right now?
Man, it's kind of scandalous.
I didn't have burn books in my day, and I'm not that old.
Yeah, we didn't call them burnt books though, I don't think. I've never been in one, so I really can't relate, you know. I was always on the low profile list.
So that's the best way. And then for all of y'all, if you're not the ones that are creating the books or whatever, if you're not the one in the book, stay out of it, period. And even if you're the one that may be in the book, stay out of it. Stay away from the gossip, stay away from the hype. And I didn't realize that till like the last couple years of high school. But the best way to stay away from drama is to stay out of the drama. Somebody get to talking about, well, whoop-de-whoop does this. That's cool.
Good and bad will happen in your life. It's just about how you choose to deal with it. We made our negatives positives. I urge you to do the same. A lot of it is the company you keep. Association breeds similarity, which is why I roll with my man right here, who has a strong mind and a good mind. So when I'm feeling down or out, or I just feel like going off at the world about whatever it is I'm going through, I got my boy to tag in, and you know, he helps me up, vice versa. So really be mindful of the association that you have.
Just to stress that, real talk. Did y'all catch what he said? Association breeds similarities. Anybody know what that mean, or anybody heard that before? Anybody?
Have you guys heard that?
What was it, say again?
Association breeds similarities.
This young man, let's flip it on.
Some of the friends that you have, like, say, I'm just using this as an example. My best friend, she lives nowhere near here, but I mean, like, we still try to stay in contact. And like, when I first met her, I was thinking like, we don't seem like we have anything in common. But once we started hanging out, once we started talking, chit-chatting and everything, I soon find out that she was much like me, more than much like me, much like my sister, rather than anything else.
Anybody?
Right, glasses on his head.
Who you hang out with is, if you hang out with them for a while, then you might be like them eventually.
Personality traits start to rub off.
Yeah, and it's, I don't want to say scientific fact, it may be, but it is it's a proven fact. You will become your environment if you stay in it long enough. When we started, kind of like what she said, when we started hanging out, we really, if we were looking at face value, like, you know, I'm dark skinned, you light skinned, you know, a little bit tall, a little bit bigger, you know, he was a ball player, like, you're a basketball player, I used to wrestle. Like, we ain't really, yeah, he cool. But once it was deeper than like what we had in common. It was more so what we both wanted. One thing I always say, if you want to get sharp, if you want to be sharp, if you want to be on point, kick with sharp individuals. So like, if you kicking with somebody who's like, I don't want to say lower than you or whatever, for lack of better words, or somebody who's like smoking, drinking, banging, whatever. Somebody's on a tip that you're not on or that you want to be on, you might want to reevaluate your situation. You know, go ahead, if you want, what is it, somebody throw out, what is it, something that you want to be? What you want to be?
A photographer.
Photographer. The best thing to do is hook up my man right here. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's already doing what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because everything else is...
And, you know, I like to add by saying that sometimes you got those people that you like genuinely love, like you love them to death, and you don't want to see them do wrong, but they are doing wrong. What you do is don't hang out with them, have them hang out with you. Don't go kick it with them because you'll find yourself in all kind of mess. Or have them hang out with you. Do things that are constructive.
All right. That makes sense, everybody? That's just something we wanted to just make sure we got out there. If we didn't leave y'all with anything else today, realize association does breeds similarities.